We are back for yet another installment of an overview. And this one is all about reprogramming your DNA and how that relates to epigenetics. Interesting topic that it is. And this actually fits right along with intention. And it helps us understand how we get in the state physically that we're in and emotionally that we're in. Without further ado, we shall share screen again and have a bodaciously awesome PowerPoint presentation with some cute pictures as we start from the beginning. Now, I love this picture of this person standing there and they're creating this energy, and out of that, it comes all their DNA. Here is, oh, I need to move me. Let me try moving me down here to the left. Hopefully, I don't have to move me too much. I find this fascinating that there's DNA pictures, there's cymatics of the DNA, and there it is from the top view, and there's the cymatic version of the same thing. Very interesting. Well, remember, if you watch the cymatics one, then cymatics is sound in motion. Well, your DNA is in motion all the time, so it's going to create a picture. I mean, that makes sense. Studies on epigenetics. And I'm probably going to have to move myself again because I think if I remember these slides, I might move me to the top. I might be out of the way there. At least 93% of all communication is nonverbal. And there's a whole bunch of YouTube videos with behavioral scientists that are spending a lot of time looking at politicians' behavior specifically to see if they can read into what they're actually saying nonverbally. And does it match up with what's coming out of their mouth? Very fascinating. Dr. Albert, I'm not sure how to say this, Mehrabian conducted several nonverbal communication studies. He found that only 7% of any message is conveyed through words. 38% is through certain vocal elements, and 55% is through nonverbal elements, facial expressions, gestures, eye contact, posture, tone of voice. And a lot of the behavioral scientists will say pursing the lips, raising the eyebrows. There's all kinds of things. I learned a lot just watching some of those videos. Hearing is a vibrational interpretation of particular frequencies, which are energy waves, in the form of sound upon the ears. Seeing is energy waves in the form of light in the body that includes the retina, rods, and cones, the optical nerve, etc. And we're interpreting all that information in our system. A Russian team discovered that human DNA stores data like a computer's memory system. In addition to this, the human genetic code uses grammar rules and syntax in a way that closely mirrors human language. And all of this is taken from 2 blog posts that I have on reprogramming the DNA, epigenetics. So all you have to do is go to the blog on the website and type in DNA and you'll easily find them. The structuring of DNA alkaline pairs follows grammar's set rules. This shows that all human languages are simply verbalizations of the human DNA. Very interesting. And then here's a Russian dude, which I'm not even going to try to say his name. I'll let you guys try. Since clear communication with DNA requires the correct frequency, individuals with more highly developed inner processes will be more able to create a conscious channel of communication with the DNA. Individuals whose consciousness, notice that, individuals whose consciousness is more highly developed will have less need for any device to apply a radio or light frequency. Scholars of this science believe that with consciousness, people can achieve results using only their words and thoughts. And there is the link, but again, I put this link in a couple of my articles. So if I can find that article, I will put the link directly to it in the box below this. But I want to bring that thing to consciousness. Consciousness has to do with your thoughts, your intents, and your actions being programmed into your DNA. We can overwrite negative epigenetic DNA switches through the power of perfect love. I mean, that is, perfect love is the strongest frequency possible. It overrides everything. And once you replace the negative thoughts with positive ones, you're going to start having positive results. So all those negative Nancys out there, that glass is half empty. I mean, look at the lifestyle. Look what's going on in those people's lives. You speak negativity over yourself long enough, it's going to settle in your epigenetics. Here's some more epigenetic research. If we want to change our cellular makeup, notice it says if we want to change our cellular makeup, matching our words and intents creates a pure frequency that positively changes the DNA. The opposite is also true. Negative words with wrong intent will not have a positive effect on the body. It will have a very negative effect. Positivity creates a positive effect on the body. Negativity creates a negative effect on the body. And a lot of people like negativity because it releases endorphins, and people get addicted to that. You know, all these thrill seekers, that adrenaline rush that they get, it's like a drug. It's kind of interesting. I read some research studies on that. Here's a researcher named Michael Forrester who says that affirmations, hypnosis, meditation, all those things, they affect our bodies. Now, depending on how you're doing it, it could be positive or negative. Moshe, I don't know, Schiff presents evidence that our circumstances can alter our DNA. I'm going to read that again. There's evidence that our circumstances can alter our DNA. And I'm going to add here, based on the emotional state and based on what we're doing with the thoughts, intents, and actions. Courtney Griffins says that epigenetics refers to a set of instructions. Epigenetic marks are small instruction tabs that affects how the cell reads the genes encoded in the DNA. Epigenetic instructions say which genes to turn on and which ones to turn off. And I think I've got a link to her video. It's a YouTube video in one of my articles. So if you want to change your epigenetics, this is what you do. And the more you're consistent with it, the faster you're going to see results. Thoughts. Take thoughts captive. Only entertain and meditate on the thoughts that produce positive outcome. You want to marinate in gratitude, an attitude of gratitude. It's what it's all about. Then you're going to frame, like you're building a house. Frame, put a blueprint. And then that's what you're going to be putting into action. So best intentions always are going to produce a positive outcome. And the actions are your blueprints that you framed that you're now going to act out. For best results, actions have zero hint of negative intentions and emotions. So you have to remember that the emotions are part of this as well. That's the heart-brain coherence thing, and switching on and rewiring the brain. There's that emotional aspect that's part of it. Water carries memory. And there's an earlier one on that. And that includes the water in your body, just 70% water in your body, and it's going to carry every thought, every intent, every action, every emotion, and it's going to bring that into the body, into the water, and then all of a sudden it's going to go into the memory in the cells. So water flows into the cells, allowing the epigenetic switch to work according to the thoughts, intents, and actions. So when wanting to overwrite and override all the icky stuff in the cells, you have to start all the way from the left, from the thoughts, intents, actions, get all that straightened out, which then affects the water memory of the body that then goes into the cells, and then it changes the physical stuff. And I loved it. I left the picture of the house framed up there because, I mean, you have to have a blueprint to build a house like that. Summary is, it's possible to reprogram the DNA by changing thoughts, intents, and actions. Epigenetics rests in the junk DNA that scientists are just beginning to understand. The genes are like only 3%. We carry the memory of our ancestors in our genetics. But that one soak in. As we change mindsets to a more positive lifestyle, we override and then overwrite negative epigenetic switches. And here's a couple more quotes because, and again, I have all of these up on my Instagram page, and there's a link below to go in and follow me, and you're going to get a new one of these every day. So I'm going to read them. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. Doubt is a killer. Know who you are, understand what you stand for, and turn your dreams into reality. Emotions affect the DNA, which the physical body responds to. And then this last one, just think about it. Identity theft occurs when allowing others to think for you. That means we do our own research. You take the stuff I've given you and you go research it further. And if you find anything, I'm going to stop sharing screen now. I love new studies. I love, when people prove me wrong, I'm okay with that. Because I'm not perfect and neither are you. And I don't aim to be perfect because I find that I learned better from my mistakes than I do from always having successes. And if anyone tells you otherwise, they're lying. It is from our greatest failures that we can turn those into great successes when we learn how to turn them around. Therefore, it is really possible to overwrite your negative epigenetic switches. And I am a living example of how that can be done. Put your questions in the chat below, or you can feel free to go onto the website. Check all the links that are below this as well. And we'll see you in the next overview.